Hey, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone. Shalom to the elect. Hey, Lord willing, you know what I'm saying? This video will be edifying to you, Akim, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And, just something came upon me of what I believe the apostle Ramla, the elder apostle Ramla, said that in the latest the on the street, the live streams that the apostles and elders do every Saturday, on how you tribes, talking about you so-called Latinos, all right, you tribe of you so-called Mexicans, which are the Iskarites, all right, and you so-called Central Americans, which are the Zebulonites. You try to come over here for a better life, and you looked at as an immigrant, man. And what the elder apostle said is that you tribes, what's going to happen real soon, as we see it happening, as we see it brewing up, rather, is that you're going to be looked at as a new face of terror. Because Esau, according to prophecy, wants to start this race war, all right, and bring in this martial law and this chip. Now, I just typed in Donald Trump and immigration, right? And it goes into, you can see various articles and videos. The smart way for Trump to handle immigration reforms. Trump thinks immigration is a winning issue. We protect ICE. Trump supporters. It shows you various articles. It says BB News, Trump immigration effects of a raid on one tiny town. Others are supporting, while you have some protesting. But Esau Edom, so-called white man, is showing his horns. All right, this one is actually the most recent article. Donald Trump's immigration policy define all Latino immigrants as criminals, then deport them. So it says, let's read up. It says, a year and a half into Donald Trump's presidency, it becomes quite clear that the anti-immigrant animus he exhibited on the campaign trail, and which compelled so much enthusiasm from white voters of all income levels, is also the guiding philosophy of his presidency. Because what? We know that Trump, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, is the one that's going to push these race wars, man. Kicking out or detaining as many immigrants as possible, or at least the ones perceived as non-white, has arguably been the top priority of the Trump White House. So look at that, man, because you have an influx of immigrants, man. All right, you got the so-called Chinese, the so-called Africans, the so-called Russians, the so-called, whoever, man, other than you Israelites, can come here as immigrants and easily get businesses, easily be accepted, man. Don't know a lick of English, but easily can be accepted, man. Whereas you tribes, you got to work your ass off, man. You got to settle for less. You got, Issachar is known, to shack up. You have 20 of them in a 3-bedroom apartment, man. So the tribes, as a scripture, as it's the tribes. I meant the Slack, I said the tribes. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. So here it is, which goes to prove also that the so-called Latinos are amongst the tribes, man. For those who don't believe so. Because like in the article it just said, how come anybody else can come over here, as immigrants and live it up, except the tribe, man, because you're a proverb and a byword, man. So now, what? If you're an immigrant, you're a so-called Mexican, people look at you as an immigrant, man. Because we are a proverb and a byword, man. You think about an immigrant in America, you think about what? Criminal. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's gonna rob and steal. And they're pushing that out to what? You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, as the scriptures say, Revelation 12 and 12, he's going to come down having great wrath. The devil was going to come down having great wrath, man. Okay? So it says that has resulted in escalated deportation. The now notorious family separated policy meant to intimidate people out of seeking legal asylum, and the ending of legal status for hundreds of thousands of immigrants from what the president has called shithole countries such as Honduras or Haiti. You know? Hey, and with that, I want to actually grab this other article because, it's lucky. Let me see. So I found this other one on CNN, and it's entitled "The Smart Way for Trump to Handle Immigration." So I'm gonna read this. This is through the spirit of how I believe they're gonna push, or why they say that, you know, how they can call how they can call immigrants or so-called immigrants criminals. So it says if President Donald Trump wants to get serious about slowing migration across our southern border, he should reunite separated immigrant children with their parents and focus on addressing the factors causing families to flee Central America. No wall or detention camp will deter migrants from trying to make it to America if they fear that death awaits them back home. And many currently believe that to be the case. You know? So here it is. You tribes, you got your own land. Alright? Or you so-called got your own land. But it's poverty stricken, man. You know, you rather come here and catch hell, all right? For as the scriptures call it, the scriptures call it, your I forgot what's the name of it? The vintage, Salakia. The scriptures call it the vintage. So you rather come here for the vintage, all right? Which is that Section 8, all right? That y'all going to college for free. You rather come here for that than deal with your as Trump calls it, your shithole country, man. Instead of resorting to cruelty at the border, the Trump administration should tackle migration at the source, improving our relationships with Mexico, working with local leaders to address gang violence in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, which are you Zebulonites, and restoring American diplomatic capabilities would do more to stem migrant flows than the administration's misguided zero tolerance policy. You know, and I had wanted to hit that point. Let me see if it's more. Unlike in previous. Okay, actually, I'm gonna read down. Unlike in previous decades when most undocumented immigrants came from Mexico, today nearly 50% of those crossing the southern border are coming from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, an area in Central America known as the Northern Triangle. The region is plagued by drug-related gang violence with a murder rate that rivals active war zones. It is also the most violent against women of any region in the world. The violence is so severe that many experts believe most people coming from the Northern Triangle should qualify as refugees, deserving asylum under U.S. and international law. So like I said, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but, you know, just with this understanding of these tribes are coming from very violent places. So Trump is gonna say, well, like over there, you know what? Like over there in it bro's been keeping up over there in Europe, man. How they call the Syrian refugees, they call them criminals, man. You know, and ever since those Syrian refugees got over there, all right, it's been an influx of rape. They say it's been an influx of murder. You know what I'm saying? So when he's in the influx of, or what they say is the influx of murder and crime, who you think they're gonna blame it on, man? They're gonna blame it on you so-called Central Americans, you so-called Mexicans, man. You know? So this is, I got that, read that. This is Isaiah 32:7. It says the instruments also of the children are evil. Okay, let's look up that word churl. Because that would be a great option. All right, but Esau's going to use that to his advantage. He's not going to use that to your tribe's advantage. He's going to use that information to his advantage. Now, this word churl is an impolite and mean-spirited person. Going into what? Hebrews the 12th chapter. Who for one, let's get that. Hebrews 12 and also Malachi 1 and 1. Going to show you who the churl is. Who that mean-spirited person is, man. So I'm gonna come back to that. But let's get Hebrews. Hebrews 12 and 16. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright." Oh, you know what, Slakia? I actually wanted to get... That was a good one, but I wanted to get, going into how Esau Edom, so-called white man, is profane. It's outside of the temple. He ain't right. He's everything against the laws and statutes and commandments of the Heavenly Father. But Malachi 1 and verse 1. "The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness." This is the point. "Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness." So a mean-spirited person of the border of wickedness, Esau, Edom, so-called white man. "And the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever." So when you go into that Isaiah 32, know that, or when you hear about the wicked, because you have the wicked of Israel, but mainly he's talking about what? The wicked Esau, Edom. In this chapter, Isaiah 32. Isaiah 32 and 7, "The instruments also of the churl, or that mean-spirited person, are evil." And what's Esau's instruments he's using now is his media. Which the media is a form of what? Brainwashing, man. "The instruments also of the churl are evil." All right, because when you watch the news, what you hear the same 7 stories all day. All they play is the same 7 stories all day, man. That's them brainwashing you, man. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh aright. And going into his instruments. All right, what does he do with RT News or news that actually tells you what's going on? Real news. He calls it fake news, man. "He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. But the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand." Okay? So this is what Esau is doing, man. So, Slack, I keep doing that. Like I said, man, brothers keep watch with that, man. This is another one I have found. It says, "Enforce our laws and secure our borders." This is "As a mother and family physician, I understand that no Americans want to see children separated from their parents. However, as elected officials, our first priority must be to enforce our immigration laws, secure our borders, and protect American families." What a hypocrite. What a goddamn hypocrite, man. Because it contributes to violent crime, drug and human trafficking, and the opioid epidemic. Illegal immigration is the most significant crisis of our time. So let's not forget about World War III that's happening. All right, let's forget about Slovakia. Let's forget about World War III. Let's forget about this trade war that leads to world wars. Let's forget about that. All right, And let's focus on these immigrants, man. You know? Was going to show you how Esau is about to come down having great wrath, man. Revelation 12 and 12, it says, ignoring the facts and spreading false outrage only distracts us from solving it. Kelly Ward. This year, we've seen our southern border flooded with more than 50,000 illegal immigrants each year. So I'm guessing she's from, let me see. I don't know. She said we've seen our southern borders flooded. So maybe she's over there like in Texas or something like that, along the border, Arizona maybe. So it says this year we've seen our southern borders flooded with more than 50,000 illegal immigrants each year. Since May of last year, we've seen a 329% increase in unaccompanied children and a 435% increase in family units entering the country illegally. As a resident of a border state, I've personally seen families destroyed and communities ravaged by illegal immigration. You know? It says, our view, family separation combines cruelty and competence. Let's see. I'm not going to read anymore, man. Brothers get the point, man. How Esau, he's building a narrative, man. Hey, so with that, Lord willing, you Occam's edify. Remember, keep your eyes on, amongst the other things, keep your eyes on what Trump is doing with the tribes, man. We over here in the camp, we say about how they say they're catching so-called immigrants and sending them back to their hometown. Hey, don't be surprised if they come out where they getting chipped, man. Because Esau, that's another prophecy, all right, amongst the race wars. All right. Well, actually, I can get that. I spoke about it. Race wars coming. Let me see if I can find it. This is 2nd Ezra 15. Maybe it's 16. I always get that confused. Slocky, okay. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. The water Yahweh, man. Yahweh Bashim and Shai. Woe to the world. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Alright, that's the point, man. One people shall stand up and fight against another, man. Alright, according to nations, man. Alright, because even when you go into the Jacob and Esau, it says one shall be stronger than the other, man. Meaning one people. Alright, because there's two separate nations in Rebecca's womb at the time. Alright, Jacob, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And Esau, the so-called white man. Alright. And it's basically just going to be Israel against all these other nations, man. Because when you go into, was it Micah, I think it's like 5. Talks about how Israel is going to do valiantly, man. Hey, so these race wars is coming, man. It's brewing up. All praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, man. Hey, the tribes, rising up, man. Most importantly, the elect is waking up. All right. Hey, so with that, Lord willing, you Akim is Salaki. Lord willing, you Akim will edify. Shalom to the elect.